Hydrotech. Hydrotech's story is one that is indicative of Southwest and the Ohio area. It's a collection of hardworking, resourceful people, part of and servicing the industrial marketplace here in the manufacturing heartland. Despite historic recent uncertain business and economic trends, the Hydrotech story is one of growth. It is the entrepreneurial intersection of determination, fueled by the experience, skill, ingenuity, and exceptionally good people. But without customers, none of this would be possible. Hydrotech takes great care and pride in servicing the needs of every customer to deliver exactly what they need with the value that they expect. The Hydrotech legacy, however, extends beyond the service they provide to customers. It reaches into the community where they live and work. You'll notice that as we conclude our lunch, the Hawksworth blood vehicle will be here for the semi-annual blood drive. Hydrotech is also actively involved with the Habitat for Humanity build and Bowling for the Brave. Got Autism donates 5% of every purchase back to autism. From sponsoring awareness events and funding therapy service to helping with the cost of training an autism dogs, Got Autism pays it forward. Some of the local charities that Got Autism donates to are the Goodwill Easter Seals, the Autism Society of Greater Cincinnati, Safe Haven Farms, Four Paws for Ability, the Ken Anderson Foundation, and St. Joseph's Orphanage. I could go on and on about Hydrotech, but I'm going to leave time for others. I'll conclude with a few facts about the future enhancements to this facility. The plans call for over 1,800 square feet of office and warehouse space, almost doubling the size of the current facility. 55 new desks, a fitness room, everything's going to be modernized throughout, and they're looking to facilitate interdepartmental teamwork through an open atmosphere environment. They're going to be hiring 14 people in the recent times, and they intend to ramp up operations by 55 staff very soon. You can check out the blueprints for the building during your tour, and I encourage you to do so. It's really, it's going to be an awesome facility. So congratulations to the people of Hydrotech and to each of you who contributed to the growth of this amazing organization. I would now like to invite Doug Bowling, Dean of Engineering and Innovative Technologies, Cincinnati State, up to the podium with my conscience, Mike Tanyan, Vice President of Sales. Today, Hydrotech recognizes that due to the contribution and support of our valued customers, Hydrotech is able to give back to the community and provide for the education and training of future workers in the industry. Hydrotech is donating 4 training stands along with Bosch Rexroth, thanks guys, to Cincinnati State. This is a partnership that continues to improve and grow like the 3 institutions involved. And I would like to invite Doug to make a few remarks. Did we get enough photos, guys? Awesome. So Doug, please.
Well, thank you, everybody. Like I said, my name is Doug Bowling. I'm the Dean for the Center for Innovative Technologies, which is a big word at Cincinnati State for engineering and IT. So I represent the engineering and IT divisions at Cincinnati State. On behalf of Cincinnati State, the Mechanical Engineering Technology Department at Cincinnati State, the Foundation at Cincinnati State, I want to thank Pete, Rex, and Mike and the whole Hydrotech family and Bosch as well for this donation. It is very, very much appreciated. This is not the first one either. They were also, they rebuilt our whole pneumatic lab, and in this donation they're in essence upgrading and building our new hydraulic lab. We at Cincinnati State are about the next generation of workers, and we're about giving students not just a job but a career. Our students go on to either work full-time, or we want them to go on and get their bachelor's degree. And this equipment goes a long way in keeping us current with the new technology. We are, a school, so we have to try to find as much new equipment as we can, try to stay as active as we can in the industry. And this allows us to keep up with that, with the newest trends. And so when we put out our product to you, our students are ready to go and ready to be successful in the industry. So we think this is a wonderful opportunity. Again, we thank you very much for this donation. Hydrotech are wonderful partners to us. Again, there's much more than just this donation that they've done for us. I could talk all day, but they told me not to go too long, so they'll tackle me. So, again, thank you guys very much for this wonderful donation, and we will make the very best use of it, I assure you. So thank you very much.
Okay, so next up, we have the Honorable George Lang, Westchester Township Trustee and President of the Board, would like to say a few words. George?
Thank you, Jay. Wow, what a great day for Westchester. What a great day for Hydrotech. You know what? It is with a high degree of enthusiasm, excitement, motivation, and commitment that Westchester welcomes this expansion of Hydrotech to our community. And I know my fellow trustee, Mark Welch, is here. Bruce Jones, our fiscal officer, Lee Wong, our other trustee, couldn't be here, but we are all excited about this opportunity. You know, Westchester is quietly becoming the economic epicenter of the Cincinnati-Dayton corridor. Over 3,500 businesses now call Westchester home. And guess what? Guys like Bruce Jones, Mark Welch, Lee Wong, and myself, we get way too much credit for the economic development and the economic success of Westchester. This credit goes to people like Peter Jones. The entrepreneurs of America that come here, they invest their own time, their own effort, their own energy, their own talent, and their own treasure into making our community a success. And far too often, we get the credit for it. Now, let me tell you a few other things about Hydrotech. They've been in Westchester for about 20 years. I was visiting with Peter Jones briefly before we started, and in 2 years, they're going to mark their 50th anniversary. And this expansion is going to be done before their 50th anniversary. Why? Because they got the dream team, the guys from Schumacher Dugan that are building it. So it's going to be done on time and in budget, and it'll be first class. Now, you know, Hydrotech's logo is a dolphin. And I'm told that Pete actually came up with that logo over his kitchen table many years ago because the logo represented intelligence. I'm sorry, the dolphin represented intelligence. And that's what he was looking for in the 121 people that he hired. And I'm happy to tell you when this expansion is done, there are going to be almost 200 nice, solid jobs here in Westchester. The other thing I like about this, guys, it's manufacturing. Manufacturing in the United States of America. We're not shipping these jobs overseas. We're keeping them right here where they belong. And I applaud people like Pete and Rex that are committed to keeping America whole and keeping America strong. I'm also told that that you have taken this place to levels that Pete and your dad never envisioned. So you get a lot of credit for what's going on today, Rex. So thank you for everything that you do as well. Now, here's another story I was told. I was told that Peter founded this in 1967 because the employer he was working with at the time wasn't paying him the amount of money that he was worth as they expanded his sales territory. Today, they're going to do almost $70 million in business this year. I bet your former employer regrets that decision in a big way. Two other things actually. They're recognized as the top 100 places to work in Cincinnati for the last 3 years in a row. And in 2014, they were awarded the Gehring Center Award for Best Family Business that have been around at least 16 to 50 years. Not only are they getting these business awards, but they're giving back to the community. The partnership they've made with Cincinnati State, amazing. The work they do with autism, amazing. My fellow trustees, wish you the greatest success that you can have here. We thank you for your investment, and we know that your future is going to be amazing. Thank you very much. Jay? You'll
be happy to know I haven't gotten any additional messages in that amount of time. I would like to invite Stephen Hayter, if he'd like to say a couple of words, to come up, please. Stephen is the membership director at the Gehring Center.
Good morning, afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Jay. It is an honor to stand here in front of you all and also on this hallowed ground that someday or soon we'll have a building standing where we are. Rex, you are going to get beat up pretty good today, all right? You said I could say anything I want to, correct? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, all right. Hydrotech has been an outstanding member of the Gehring Center for over 5 years. The Gehring Center's mission is to nurture and educate family and private businesses to drive a vibrant economy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a model company that does that, and we're standing and sitting on their property today. I commend you. Thank you. During the 5 years that they've been a member of the Gehring Center, they have been involved in more programs, I think, than anybody else. We've watched them grow. Pete said something to me this morning. We were walking through the hallway, and he just shook his head. And he goes, "In my wildest dreams." And that struck me. Also, during this relationship with the Gehring Center, those of you that know Rex, I've worked very closely with him, so he and I have developed a personal relationship like brothers. And I think any of you that have brothers know how brothers act, and I will put it this way, Pete's had to separate us a couple times. We find buses to throw each other all the time, so I had a whole list of things that here I am with an open mic in front of Rex's friends, colleagues, associates, suppliers, and you were saved today. My 88-year-old dear mother called me on the way out here today. She's out of town, and she said, "Steve, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm going to a groundbreaking this morning, and I have to say a few words." She says, "Well, of course you're going to say nice things, right?" And I said, "Yes, Mom." And so any of those of you who want to know the truth about Rex Wetherill, there's a bunch of notes on northbound I-75 I threw out the window. So you were saying there is a God, Rex, okay? All right. Just a few things you've heard about. They won Family Business of the Year award in 2014. They're a finalist again in 2015. They've been through our strategic planning course. 4 people, Sylvia, Tim, Adrian, and David, have been through our leadership development. Rex is on our board of advisors at the Gehring Center. I don't know how that happened. Sorry, Mom. Don't tell her, please, if you run into her. The philanthropy, we've heard about that. A little statistic. 95% of family-owned businesses are philanthropic. This company is farther than that. What you do with the autism, Cincinnati State, Habitat for Humanity, all these things are incredible. Your leadership, your vision, what you've done. In closing, I want to say congratulations to everybody, and I also want to offer the team at Hydrotech a challenge. This is not the end of a journey. This is just a midpoint. Let's celebrate today, but Monday, let's start the task of continuing it. I would like to, 10 years from now, stand at this same property and imagine and see what happened. I can't imagine with the leadership team you've put together, with the company you've got, and the fine things you've got coming up, where you'll be. Again, I congratulate you. One other thing, Rex, real quick. Before I hung up with my mom, she said, "Well, where are you going?" I said, "To Hydrotech." She goes, "Oh, that's nice." She goes, "Hydrotech." She says, "Is that where Rex is?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, be sure and tell Rex that if he puts a shovel on the ground, to put the pointy end in first." Okay? Thank you all very, very much.
Yeah, I went to a groundbreaking and a comedy club broke out. Nice job. All right, so it is now my great pleasure to present to you the founder and the CEO of Hydrotech, Mr. Pete Jones.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you. And thank you, Doug, especially, and George. Sherry, so good to see you too. Before I start, I want to introduce one of my greatest supporters, my wife. Joanne, I call her Joe, what she prefers to be called Joe. And before I start on the history of Hydrotech, I want to just mention a couple of other things. When I first started Hydrotech, we had 3 children, 8 and under. So obviously you've got to feed them, you know. So I looked around for something I could find that would give me freedom during the day to go out and sell, but also have a side income. And as it turned out, back in those days, Cincinnati Enquirer had personal carriers. So I borrowed $5,000 and I bought a Cincinnati Enquirer paper route. And for nearly 2 years, I threw 450 dailies and 750 Sundays. But we got it done. And one other thing I wanted to mention, I've remembered this ever since it happened. I happened to have been in Columbus, and it was calling on a tool and die company that also built small spatial machinery. And of course, I was trying to get in the last call. It was 5 after 5 when I tried to open the door, and it was locked. And I kind of shook the door, and I looked in the window, and the owner was sitting in there. And so finally, he got up and came out and opened the door. I introduced myself and said, "Do you have a few minutes?" He said, "What are you selling, pajamas?" I never forgot that. So, at any rate, and if my memory were better, I would probably do this off without notes, but I don't want to miss anything. So I will tell you that Hydrotech Incorporated was formed initially as Hydrotech Engineering Company on April 8th, 1967. And the dolphin logo, as Jay said, was adopted from the outset with the, I attract gnats, I guess, with the connotation being intelligent fluid power. And in February 1968, Hydrotech Engineering Company was incorporated in the state of Ohio as Hydrotech Incorporated. Hydrotech Engineering operated a fluid power distributor agent as a fluid power and distributor agent for approximately 7 different hydraulic manufacturers, with the office being in my home basement. A short time later, I rented a small corner office in a building in Loveland, and in February 1968, I hired the first employee who was a bookkeeper, part-time. Later in mid-1969, an acquaintance that I didn't know really well, but I knew, and he was a partial competitor as well. And he contacted me to discuss a merger of his company into Hydrotech. And after several meetings, Paython Cincinnati Sales Company, owned by Lewis Wetherill, Rex's father, merged with Hydrotech on October 1st, 1969, and this 50-50 consolidation enhanced both growth and new opportunities. We rented and occupied a house in Silverton, a suburb of Cincinnati, for the next 2.5 years. The first branch office was opened in Columbus in 1972. Other product lines were added, including automatic lubrication products. Delivery and service requirements were kind of necessitating investment in inventory, and larger facilities were needed. So in 1973, we purchased a building located in the Cincinnati suburb of Rossmoy. This building was comprised of offices only, so 2 warehouse spaces were rented nearby for inventory and for testing and assembly of lubrication systems. The lubrication portion of the business was growing rapidly, and this prompted the opening of our Cleveland office in September 1977. Additional office space and a small warehouse was added to the Cincinnati building in 1978. We bought our first computer in 1982, and it was as large as this podium. The same thing now goes into a space about like this, you know. The bulk of the customer base was represented by machine tool manufacturers at that time, because at one time, if some of you don't remember, Cincinnati, Ohio was recognized as the mecca for machine tools in the world. Unfortunately, a lot of them have gone by the wayside today. But anyhow, with the recession in 1982, we thought we should expand the customer base to offset the dependency on the machine tool trade. And now we're in about 26 different markets. With the continued growth, many opportunities for the upgrading of product offerings were realized. The increase in the number of sales and office personnel was commensurate with the additional geographic areas that were being covered. The Louisville, Kentucky, and the Dayton, Ohio offices were added in 1979. Growth continued, and the business was moved to about a 15,000 square foot building in Blue Ash, a suburb of Cincinnati. And with the increased warehouse space that was then available, the focus is directed toward value-added services and the assembly and testing of packaged lubrication systems, hydraulic assembly, and hydraulic power unit was started in full speed. The trend was toward total motion control capabilities, especially with the representation of Rexroth Corporation beginning in 1979, offering not only hydraulics, but pneumatics, electric servo motors and drives as well. And I remember Rex's father and I used to say, before Rexroth, we only thought we were in the hydraulics business. They have a product array that is staggering. In 1995, we purchased this property, and at that time it consisted of 5,000 square feet of offices and 24,000 square feet of warehouse. In May 2004, after an association of 35 years, regrettably, Rex's father passed, and in November of that same year, with the blessing of my children, Rex Wetherill was made president. A fine, fine decision. And I moved from president up to CEO. Since that time, we've made 5 acquisitions since 2003, one being a distributor in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, with many of the same product offerings as we had. We also purchased a 21,300 square foot building in Cuyahoga Falls, and our staff there services all of northeastern Ohio. So in addition to the 17,000 square foot that was added in that 2006 and 2007, this building starting here will be at that time in 2006 and 7, we added 5,000 square feet of office space and another 12,000 square foot in warehouse. And now with this building project, we're going to add 23,000 square feet, 8,000 of which is going to be offices, and 15,000 square feet in addition to the rear end of the present warehouse. So that's kind of the history of Hydrotech, and not only I wanted to also mention that in addition to the connotation being intelligent fluid power, back when that all started in 1967, some of you people that are closer to my age might remember that it's a television show called Heidi about dolphins, because a lot of research is being done with dolphins because they're very intelligent mammals. And so that's why I latched onto that logo, because the power it takes for a dolphin to come from a shallow pool and dive through a huge hoop, and that's what our logo represents with the line above and the line below, is a dolphin going through a hoop. And thanks to all the people that we have here at Hydrotech, we've been through a lot of hoops, and I want to tell you, as I've said before, our value is not in all the inventory that's back there that you'll see a little bit later. It's in our people. We have the greatest, and I'm so proud of them. So that's all I have to say today. Thank you all for coming. I'm really impressed with the turnout, and I wish all of you well. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks so much, Pete. We have a kind of a special correction here to the program. Sherry Carbo, the Southwest Regional Liaison for Governor John R. Kasich, has got a small proclamation for Pete, and she's going to come up with Pete and present that. Okay?
Thank you. It really is an honor to be here with you this morning as you celebrate this expansion and growth. And I do have a certificate that I'd like to present, but first, I know if Governor Kasich were here, he would have a few things to say as well. And so on behalf of Governor Kasich, Pete, Rex, and the entire Hydrotech team, congratulations and thank you for your investment and your confidence in Ohio. You have been part of Ohio's comeback story, and we really appreciate you. So, the certificate says, on behalf of the state of Ohio, we join all those gathered to recognize the groundbreaking of your new addition. The additional space will add 20,000 square feet to your current facility, allowing for your continued growth and innovation. We are grateful for your commitment to Westchester Township and the state of Ohio, and we commend all those involved in this project for your support of this endeavor. We look forward to the positive impact this expansion will have on your business, and we extend our best wishes for your continued success. Thank you. Congratulations.
Sherry, thank you so much.
You're welcome.